Chentell Shannon is one. Wow, when Chentell had been attending CreativeMornings, and we connected one night through a common friend, JT, who's also here. There you go. And it was great to hear her story. And when I proposed her as the speaker to the team, it was an agreement that she would do it. And honestly, it's pretty crazy. She already had like a few days later after we asked her, she already had like, this is what I'm going to talk about. And then a little bit after that, she had a structure. She's super organized. I don't know how she does the whole structure and a creative thing, but she's doing it really well. Really well. So, Chentell?
I'm here.
You're there. Come on up.
Thank you, Eric, for such a warm welcome. I agree with his comment about hype. I think Instagram can create a lot of hype, and obviously we hope it stems from somewhere. So I hope today that I'm able to communicate the things that I've prepared well, so that you guys can leave understanding me a little bit more and the company that I've been working to build. Thank you so much to the team at CreativeMornings for everything that you guys do to put these on. I've attended them, and I always feel leaving stimulated and inspired. Thank you, Jeremy, for being such a fun host here at the Crossroads Hotel. My husband, my dog, and I love staying the night last night and being able to prepare in the same building, so I'd be speaking in. Thank you for the Crossroads Hotel for making such a beautiful place for the city to gather and for guests to visit when they're coming through. And last, Messenger, Ivis, I love you guys so much, and I'm so grateful that you guys are always willing to rally behind us as a company and do fun events and collaborations like this. Are you guys ready? More like, am I ready? I want to start by giving you guys a little bit more of an introduction into who I am. I know that you guys received a brief bio when you signed up for the event, but I want to fill that out a little bit further, give you some framework and understanding what exactly Convivial is, and then we'll get into the topic of symmetry. The first thing I wanted to say is that I am a huge Kansas City enthusiast. However, I am not originally from here. I was born and raised in Hawaii, which is where I had my first introduction to working with clay. As a high school freshman entering in for my first semester, I was trying to figure out which courses I wanted to take, and my older sister was taking ceramics, and being the quintessential younger sister that I am, thinking she was the coolest person in the world, wanted to be just like her and decided to enroll in all the same classes that she was enrolled in, one of which was ceramics. Through working with the medium, I actually found that independently I really loved it. I found it to be therapeutic and mesmerizing and captivating. After taking one course, I decided to continue taking classes every semester, and at the end of my high school career, or I don't even know if you would call high school a career, but my time in high school, I had this unwavering idea that I wanted to pursue not only a career as an artist, but as a ceramic artist. Despite what you guys were probably always told as well, that there are no career in the arts, I just had this quiet confidence that if I worked hard enough, and if I thought strategically, that I could find a way to make it work for me. So I graduated and started looking into programs that I thought would fit some of the interests surrounding ceramics that I was interested in pursuing. That led me to go to Wheaton College, which is a small liberal arts school right outside of Chicago. I ended up doing an interdisciplinary degree, combining ceramics with community art and urban studies. A very similar narrative happened during my time at Wheaton, where through all the courses I was taking, what I continued to find was that ceramics was the one that kept drawing me in. And when I reached the end of my time at Wheaton, the same thing happened. I had this unwavering idea that I wanted to continue to pursue a career in ceramics. I wanted to, at that time, design products, create them, and sell them. At that time, I also met my now husband, Chentell Shannon, who is here today, and I told him I wanted him to wave, but he might be outside of the office. I did that on purpose. what I told my parents, don't do that. My husband has been with me from the start, from the conception of Convivial all the way through to where it is today. When we were trying to figure out where we wanted to go post-graduation, he very kindly said to me and suggested we consider Kansas City. And he understood the vision that I wanted to pursue, and he said that Kansas City was a uniquely supportive place for both entrepreneurs and for artists. And I think this, today, you guys all showing up to hear me talk, and in the past to hear speakers talk, is a really great example of that being true. So I told him I would give it a shot. I would go to Kansas City for a year and see how it went, see if it lived up to the hype that he was saying existed. I moved into the attic of my now in-laws and started developing the first products for Convivial. I started getting invested in the community. I started surveying Kansas City to see what I thought of it, and I found it to be a really unique and supportive place. Obviously, I decided to stay, and I could not be more grateful and more proud to be building the company that I am here in this city. From that point, so much happened to get to where we are today, but the theme of today is not startup, and it's not story, it's symmetry. So I'm going to pass through the 4 years of building the products of Convivial, as well as the structure that was needed to create them, and talk a little bit about what Convivial actually is. Who had heard of Convivial? I'm just curious. Awesome. For those who hadn't, I'm going to try to fill it in for you. Convivial is a design and manufacturing company that creates handmade ceramic wares for the home, table, and garden category. Convivial, the word, means the joining of people to eat, to drink, and to be well with one another. It's social vitality, it's gathering, and it's hospitality. The vision behind the products that I've been developing is that basically it's what's supposed to get you all around the table, to sit with each other, to eat, to host, and then the surrounding decor to set the scene. Convivial now is run by me with the support of my husband, as well as a team of, how many of you guys are there? 6? 5? 6? It's always changing. The team is in the back, and I would love for you guys to raise your hands. Now Convivial sells wholesale and retail throughout the nation, so we have about 250-ish wholesale accounts. These are brick and mortar stores that we provide products for them to resell. We also have our online direct-to-consumer website, as well as a new retail concept called Verdant, which I won't get into. I wanted to take the opportunity to announce that we'll be taking over the old YG's location in the Crossroads, which I feel really honored to be able to do. I'm going to pause there and let that be the framework that you guys have for understanding Convivial and transition to Symmetry. When Eric first invited me to speak for Creative Mornings, I was so honored, and it was an easy yes. I love the opportunity to share and talk about the things that we're working on in the studio. From there, he sent me a list of available themes for 2019, with which he kindly recommended and suggested the theme of symmetry. To me, it made total sense. If you look at the work that we do, the main design principle that we pull from is, in fact, symmetry. You'll see it in the forms that we create. Every single form is symmetrical. You'll see it in the hand-carved structures that we work on in the studio and the placement of the lines. You'll see it in the inspiration that I pull from, which I think obviously makes sense. If I'm looking at something that is symmetrical and turning to that for inspiration, then you'll see it in the work that's being produced. You'll see it in the photography that we publish for our website and social media. And you'll see it in our studio. Our studio doesn't always look this organized. I did do this as a nod to Wes Anderson and for the theme today. However, you do truly find symmetry throughout our process in our studio. So I thought it'd be fun if we did share some of those visuals. However, I must say that though symmetry makes sense for us, we are in fact a design company and without design and creating designs, we would not exist. The idea of getting up here and just talking about design felt really disappointing when I thought about what makes me most excited and most passionate and most feisty about growing and developing Convivial. So instead of saying no initially, I took a step back and started to think through what I wanted. I actually wanted the platform to be able to talk about. And it was through that process that what I found is that what I cared most about, what I found most exciting and challenging in running Convivial, ultimately, ironically, had everything to do with symmetry. Not the visual expression of symmetry that I initially thought of when I heard the topic, and it probably came to mind when you heard the topic. Rather, a more intangible, personal, intimate form of symmetry that I find myself, observe myself constantly striving to achieve when I'm working to build Convivial. Trying to articulate what this means has been really challenging, but this is the phrase that I keep coming back to. In pursuing building Convivial, I want to create a symmetry between intangible personal principles and convictions that I hold with tangible business practices that I'm working to implement. Did you guys track that? Yeah, I'm just going to read it one more time so that you can let it sink in. I'm achieving to find symmetry of intangible personal principles and convictions that I hold with tangible business practices that I'm working to implement. The thing that makes me most excited about growing Convivial is the opportunity that I have to create a company that does and creates and is structured however I think it should be. And within that opportunity, what I've learned is that that opportunity comes with unique responsibility, and I feel that responsibility very intensely as I work to build and grow the company that we are. So when I think of symmetry, for us in Convivial, I think of this process that I go through when I look at the world, I observe and see how it is, I internalize it, I consider it, I critique it, for better or for worse, and I start to develop ideas and opinions off of what I think is good, what I think is bad, what I think should be and shouldn't be, what I think is admirable and respectful. And from those developing opinions and principles, I then try to create a business that reflects that into the habits and the structures that we're creating within our studio. So, all of that is a mouthful, and I feel really proud that I got through it. There's two main areas that we've been trying to pursue symmetry within the studio, and I'm going to use my notes for some of these to ensure that I get all the information across. And then after, I wanted to just share a list of challenges that I find myself constantly being faced with and trying to think through the best and most symmetrical approaches within the studio. The first topic is that with having my own business or starting my own business, I have the unique opportunity to create the type of workplace that I think should exist in the world. When I first started Convivial, that was when a lot of the realities of mass manufacturing started being exposed, a lot of the unethical work conditions that were being, that were implemented to create the products that we're using on a daily basis. And though that wasn't a motivator for me in starting Convivial, I independently wanted to start the company. It did become something that through knowledge and education, I then felt a growing responsibility to ensure that I am creating the type of workplace that I feel proud to stand behind and the type of workplace that I would want to purchase products from. To me, what that looks like is creating an ethical, hospitable, bright, inspiring, and safe workplace for my staff. And here's a quick glimpse into more of our studio. To me, achieving symmetry in the studio means thinking of the type of workplace I want to be employed at, thinking about how I would want to be treated by my employer, thinking of the structure that I would want to be provided when I showed up at work every day. Taking that knowledge and those principles and reflecting that into the work that I'm actually striving to achieve. Turning around and working as hard as possible to ensure that I'm implementing the type of workplace I would want to be at for my lovely staff. Achieving symmetry for me means not being passive aggressive. Who here has worked for someone that is passive aggressive? Yeah, it sucks. And I am a very feisty person, I'll be honest about that. And so it is a really conscious effort that I put through to not be passive aggressive and to treat my staff with the most respect that I can. To me, symmetry means surprising them with coffee to let them know that I appreciate them and that I see them. It means bringing in OSHA routinely to ensure that the processes we are using are safe. Who knows what OSHA is? Okay, I won't expand. It's scary. It means building custom work tables that I know will save the back of our casters. Not the casters that you think of under the table. I'm talking about our slip casters who work to create every single piece in our company. Achieving symmetry means being clear about expectations, providing critique when it's needed, and positive acknowledgement when it's deserved. It means providing a consistent workplace that they know that they can come to and rely on. No company is perfect, and ours is far from it, and I think that reality actually often is really exhausting for me, because I do want to strive for perfection, and I do want to achieve that symmetry. But I am proud of the accomplishments that we've made so far. I'm proud of the space that we work in. And I'm excited over the next few years to continue to refine that space and then to be able to share it with other people. The second area that we've been striving to achieve symmetry that I'm really excited and passionate about and have been working towards this last year is sustainability. Sustainability is unavoidable. It's a growing issue in society, and it's one of the first tensions I felt from beginning to watch the studio grow. I realized that as we grew, so did our waste. I remember the first time I ordered packing materials in bulk prior to moving into our West Bottoms location, and it mentions before, we're in the West Bottoms. We went from a 2,000 square foot production facility just now to an 8,000 square foot production facility, which I like to say is equally as scary as it is exciting. Can you guys hear me all right? Am I doing well with the mic? Or are you shut up? We're doing all right? The first time I ordered packing materials, the first time I actually had space to buy anything in bulk, I very distinctly remember that delivery. If you can imagine, a roll of bubble wrap would be the size of me if I was spread. And then a bag of peanuts would be the size of me, like this. So I had 15 rolls of peanuts, and then I had 30 bags of packing materials piled on top. And I remember looking at it and thinking, I feel sick. I can't believe that I've been buying this and not realizing that even though I'm doing it in small amounts and sending it out, it still equals the same quantity. So the first time that I saw it in bulk, it really sparked a conviction in me to try to work towards what I was hearing in the world telling me that I should be working towards, which is creating and establishing more sustainable systems and practices within our company. So that sparked a series of efforts within our studio and initiatives within our studio in hopes of achieving the symmetry between my belief that yes, if I grow a company, I am responsible for doing so sustainably. For me, achieving symmetry means addressing our buying habits to ensure we're using 100% recyclable materials for the shipment of our products, which yes, finally we are, implemented January 1st, 2017, so we've been doing it for about a year now. It feels so good, and our customers have been so happy about it. Achieving symmetry means agreeing to pay more, even when we are trying to cut costs. It means creating recycling systems within our production process and reducing the amount of tools or supplies that we don't actually need that aren't recyclable. It means ensuring that we have recycling options for our own disposals on site, which is something that we're continually working on. And it means working creatively to reduce waste. That one specifically has been really important and really a fun challenge for me to try to figure out this last year when trying to implement these initiatives. One of the main challenges that I was finding is that ceramics, the actual material that we're creating, is not able to be recycled. And that is actually one of the beautiful things about ceramics is that We're making a product that if you buy and you choose to keep forever, it should stay around forever. I once heard a story about the Titanic and someone who went down to see the remains, and the one thing that they noticed was that all the white pottery was still there. And that, to me, feels like a blessing and a curse. I want to be producing products that people can use for long term, but if we don't produce the product well, we can't sell it. When we have waste that can't be recycled, that doesn't feel good. So up until this last year, we had been throwing out all of our too damaged to sell items, and it finally clicked when I was trying to pursue our sustainable initiative within the studio that we were all working to create something so beautiful, and that if we just found another life for it, that it could actually be beautiful. So what we're doing now is our mosaic beautification program. We're breaking down too damaged to sell items into small mosaic tiles that we'll be using to install in public art throughout Kansas City. The initiative was introduced last summer, and we have a lot of work to go to make it a reality. But our vision is that no broken pieces are going in the trash from here forward. So our studio is actually more chaotic because of it, but that's what I mean. Sometimes you have to sacrifice in order to achieve symmetry in those personal principles that are really important. Last, I wanted to share and leave you guys with a list of things, a list of challenges and areas that I find myself continually confronted with and mulling over when trying to achieve symmetry. If I am sensitive to the realities of gentrification, how can I be thoughtful about where I place my business and how I interact with the surrounding community to ensure I am supporting and spurring on growth rather than stealing it? When I am given the opportunity to take over a historic space in Kansas City, what intentional, thoughtful things can I do to ensure I'm creating a space that honors what used to be versus tearing it down and covering it up? If I receive pressure to grow Convivial quicker for social status or notoriety, what principles can I continue to hold close and rely on when trying to be wise and decide when and how to grow best? If I see frustrating or unhealthy trends in social media, what steps can I take to ensure the content we publish is not participating or spurring on behaviors that are detrimental for individuals in my community? If I want to provide more opportunities for artists and creatives in Kansas City, what personal sacrifices am I willing to give in order to make that happen? I was reading these, I'm just gonna stop right here, I'll cry. I was reading these off this morning, practicing my talk, and I just was weeping and trying to get through these. So I made it far, and I'm waiting for this. If I want my city to be a better place, what does that mean, and what am I willing to do to make it a reality? Thank you guys so much for listening to the mantra that drives me, and taking the opportunity to come out and support me. I would ask that you join in on those questions with me in the conversation. I would love any input on expertise or experience in the fields that you guys are in as well. Thank you guys so much.